Greetings, Ninth Street families. Saludos, familias de la Escuela Ninth Street. Today I'm going to be doing a read aloud on a book called Snakes. The book is an accelerator reader book which you can go and take a quiz on in Renaissance in Clever. The book level is a 1.0 and it is worth half a point. I'll show this information again at the end. Now let us learn about snakes. By Kate Riggs. Hello, snakes. Now look carefully at the snakes. Look at the size of it. That's a pretty big green snake. Snakes are animals called reptiles. They live all around the world. Take a closer look. Look how glossy and shiny that snake is, and look how it's coiled around that tree branch. Now, in comparison, look at this other snake over here. So this one lives amongst trees, forest, you can say, and you can see other variety of snakes that actually live in very opposite environments in a dry desert. Wow, look at the patterns of this big green snake. And look at the patterns of this black and white snake. Now let's read more about them. Snakes have scales that cover their bodies. See all of these individual pieces, those are the scales. They do not have arms or legs. Take a closer look at the scales of the white one and black one. Now, how do they move if they have no arms or legs? Let's take a look at the pictures before we read. Look at this different snake. Snakes can be big or little. All snakes have forked tongues. Get a closer look. This one's an example of what a forked tongue is. It resembles one of the forks that we may use to eat our food with. That's a forked tongue. Look at the pictures. Now, some snakes eat meat. Some snakes eat mice and frogs. Other snakes eat deer. So we see an example of this one, how they are eating meat. This one's eating a mouse. This one's eating a frog. Okay, the orange one over here is eating a mouse. And this other one over here is eating a frog. Look at that. The size of the head of the snake and how big the frog is. But somehow he's going to fit inside the snake's mouth. Now look at this picture and study the picture carefully. Can you see the snake? Okay, it's coming out of something. What is it coming out of? Can you guess? Let's see what it says. A baby snake comes out of an egg, or it is born live. Baby snakes grow up by themselves. Snakes like to lie around in the sun. Then they look for food. You can see this one lying around in the sun. And have you spotted it? Where is the snake on this other page? You're right. The snake is right there. And remember, he's looking for food. What's going to be the snake's food on that page? It's a little blurry, but if you can tell, this snake is keeping his eye on this frog. The frog might be the next meal. Goodbye Snakes. Now some snakes, and we saw a snake first of all up in the tree at the beginning of the story. We saw some snakes that live in the desert. And now over here we get to see the snakes that this one actually likes to move around in water. So yes, snakes are able to swim in water. Now here's some key vocabulary to learn about snakes. Okay, over here, I'm going to give this a closer view so you can see for yourselves. This is a bigger view of scales. Over here, they're identifying that this is the skin of the snake. Over here, we see the tongue. And over here, the tiny little holes, that is his tongue or her tongue. And over here, we see the nostrils. That's where they breathe. We see the snake's eye. And then if we take a closer look at this other picture over here, we see the jaw. Now look at how wide the snake's mouth can actually open. That is why it's able to fit those big animals that we saw in those previous pages, like the big rat and that huge frog, but it had a tiny snake head. That's because they have the ability to open their jaws super wide. And then we have the fangs, the sharp fangs that we see right there to grip and hold tight onto their prey or the animal that they're eating. Okay. And then we have some key vocabulary words. So we learned about the word forked, which means split into two parts. We said the tongue was forked. Reptiles, animals that have scales and need heat from the sun to keep warm. And that explains the reason why snakes like to lay around in the sun and then look for food. Scales means small body plates that cover an animal's skin. I hope that you enjoy learning about snakes today. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you one more time. Snakes by Kate Riggs, and it is an accelerator reader book, level 1.0. And when you quiz on it in Renaissance, it'll give you half a point if you pass with 85% or higher. Now, don't forget, we always advise that when you take an AR quiz, read the story twice, read the book twice before you take a test in accelerator reader in Clever, which you will find with a big green R called Renaissance. Hope you enjoy the book. I'll see you next time.